Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. It's mailbag time, so get your questions in. Hashtag Bears, Super Chat. You guys know the drill if it's your first time watching. We do these mailbags live on our shows on Tuesdays, so don't forget to subscribe. Mr. Richie with the $10 Super Chat says, Bears should trade down again to get more draft capital. It gives us more flexibility, and we can have some studs on rookie deals when we really start to compete. Listen, I'm not opposed to trading down again. Now, eventually you need to make a pick. You need good players, but yeah, like you got to build with good players, but you also got to build out some depth as well. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with trading down. From Zach with a 10, shout out to you. How would you feel if the Bears traded back with the Titans or someone in the teens and got someone like Nolan Smith to build up the defensive line, then try and snag someone in the second round for the offensive line? I like Nolan Smith a lot. I wonder if the Bears think he's more of like a 3-4 edge and doesn't fit this scheme, but he's explosive. He's an elite run stopper with some pass rush ability. If he could improve as a pass rusher, I would like him even more, but he's had a great pre-draft process. He's kind of an opposite of Jalen Carter, right? Jalen Carter had a great season, but his pre-draft process has been a disaster. Nolan Smith got hurt, missed a lot of the season, but his pre-draft process has been great. So they've kind of had the opposite spectrum there, but like him as a player. Do the Bears view him as a fit? That remains to be seen. Daily basis, any player on the Bears that have the potential to be the number one in the NFL at their position. We'd all like to say Fields, but I think Bojack and Edmonds could. Yeah, I mean, look, if Justin Fields ever becomes the best player in the NFL, watch out, because Lombardi trophies are coming to Chicago, baby. Eddie Jackson, I think at his best, and we saw some of that last year, is one of the best safeties, especially free safeties in the NFL. Tremaine Edmonds, I think, could be a very, very, very good linebacker. He already is. Can he be the best? I don't know, but you need more blue chip players. That I do know. Aviato, if Bijan Robinson is the top player on the Bears draft board at number 9, why not draft him? Listen, I'm coming around to the idea more and more of just stick to the big board, man. You need good players. If Bijan's by far the best player available when you pick at 9 and you don't trade down, I got no issue drafting him. You would have him for a minimum of 5 years on a rookie deal, probably 6 if you wanted to franchise tag him, and you could get a lot of production and a lot of good usage out of him. He's a safe pick in this draft, assuming he stays healthy, which he has no injury history. I think he would be instantly a top 10, maybe top 5 running back in the NFL. You think about a Bijan Robinson, Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman trio in this running back room. Treston Ebner, have fun on the practice squad, because that would be electric. I'm open to the idea. I'm not closing that door whatsoever. I think Bijan Robinson is going to be a hell of a player for whatever team drafts him in the first round of the NFL draft, which I do think he will go in round 1. Would you be happy with Bijan at number 9 overall? Type H for happy, M for mad. I understand you have bigger needs, but if he was Poll's best player available, I couldn't really fault it at the end of the day. Pinned comment on today's show, H for happy, M for mad. Would you be happy with Bijan at number 9? Alex, first off, love the show, guys. Appreciate it. Second, in regards to the draft, I don't know how they could pass on Carter or Van Ness to really get that Donald Bosa-type player. That would be a perfect scheme fit. Yeah, I do think Jalen Carter, Lukas Van Ness are great fits. I would prefer to trade down a few spots if Van Ness is the guy they really like. I think they could get him closer to 15 perhaps, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is more in that number 9 range. The Carter deal is what it is, right? We know that situation. He visited the Bears on April 3rd, so, that's up to them as evaluators to determine if they're going to consider taking him. I know you got to get help in this front 4. You just do. You need multiple guys. You're not one player away. You're 2, you're 3, you're 4. Like, you need guys on that front 4 that can rush the passer, stop the run, free up linebackers. You just don't have enough of that right now. Grady McCray, any chance we draft a kicker in the later rounds? Always a chance. I would not do that. I'm definitely open to bringing in an undrafted free agent to compete with Cairo Santos. I'm fine with that, but I would not draft a kicker. Santos is fine. Even if he's not a long-term answer, he can get you through next year pretty easily, I'd say. Christian Piedras, would you take at 9 Wilson or Paris or someone else? I think Tyree Wilson, for me, is a slightly better prospect. Paris Johnson obviously helps shore up that offensive line, but again, I'd probably go best player available because O-line and D-line are your two biggest needs. Whoever Poles has ranked higher on his board, that's who I would take. Do you guys want more Bears mailbags? If you do, subscribe on today's show and prove it to us. If you don't, then let us know that you don't like mailbag videos. We like to get you guys involved in the show, but if you guys like other content better, then we can pivot and not do as many mailbags. So let me know, subscribe, and reach out in the comments. Steven Rosinski, we are more than just one draft away. Have to trust the big board. I think it's a very good point. You can reach a spot or two, especially after the first round. But again, if you're picking at 9 and your 6th best player on your board is available, you should just take that guy. You told yourself in the homework you did in the pre-draft process, this is the 6th best player in the draft, and he's sitting there for us. You got to trust that. Otherwise, why do you put in all the hours between really the prior year put together? It starts right away. Why even do that if you're not going to stick to your board? Notorious TBG, who is the most likely trade partner for the Bears if someone likes Levis or if Gonzalez is there at number 9? That's hard to say. I will say this. The Patriots have been rumored to shopping Mac Jones around. That tells me one or two things. One, there's just friction between Jones and Belichick and whoever. 2, they want to go after Lamar. Or 3, maybe they like a quarterback in this draft. Maybe if Levis or Richardson or whoever is still there at 9, maybe the Patriots trade Jones elsewhere, move up to 9 from, I think, 14, Rolly? 14. And, you get 14 from New England and maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick as well. So, yeah, I think they're a team that all of a sudden could be a team to watch out for. Steve Cage, why do you think it's such a bad idea to draft Jaxon Smith-Njigba and keep our other receivers besides Velus? We would be crazy explosive. I don't think it's a bad idea. First of all, I've said that I am open to drafting Smith-Njigba. I just, in my opinion, I think if they do draft him, I think they'll probably trade Mooney or Claypool because they're both on the final year of their contracts. And in today's NFL, your number 4 receiver just doesn't have much production. Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool are better than number 4 receivers. They can be 2s and 3s for a lot of other teams. So I think you would probably trade one of them because you're clearly not going to extend Mooney and Claypool if you draft Jaxon Smith-Njigba. You're not going to extend 2 good receivers to keep 4 guys together. They're not running the air raid where 4 receivers are going to play 80+% of snaps. That's just not how it's going to work. So, again, I like Smith-Njigba. I would be open to drafting him. But if they do, I would not be shocked at all if Mooney or Claypool got dealt. Arthur Smith, what do you think is the best realistic trade down would be for the Bears? I mentioned that, Patriots scenario a little bit ago. I think Tennessee has shown that they would like to move up. I think they want to move up higher than 9, though, to secure a quarterback. So I think Arizona at 3 or Detroit at 6 or Seattle at 5 could make more sense for Tennessee. But, if one of the quarterbacks falls to 9, maybe Tennessee jumps up and gets them. Maybe the Jets move up a spot. I think Washington at 16 could be a team to watch out for. We've talked about that Pittsburgh scenario where they move up to 9 to get a left tackle and the Bears get 17 and 32. So I think those are a few potential options in that realm. Who is your favorite current Bears player? Favorite one. Favorite current Bears player. And you can't pick Justin Fields. You can't pick Justin Fields. Favorite current Bears player. Drop a name down in the comments. Mr. Inglewood says, disagree. Appreciate the super chat. Our quarterback had us in every game last year. If we plug holes on the offensive line, we will contend for the North, a wild card, and maybe a playoff win. I don't know what you're disagreeing with. Maybe that my philosophy of just sticking to BPA regardless of position, but I don't necessarily disagree with your scenario. Ideally you fix the O-line and you compete for playoff stuff next year, but you're still early on in this rebuild. If the best player available is at a different position, I think that's okay. Now, you can't go 3 rounds without plugging a hole on the offensive line. Like, they're going to prioritize tackle pretty highly, I think. If they don't take one at 9, they'll probably take one in the second round. We have to see how it plays out, but that's just the feeling that I get. LA will trade down to 17, pick up 32, and then get Kalijah Kancey at 17, and then pick Darwin Johnson. Darwin Johnson. Talking Dawan Jones, the Ohio State tackle. I think that's what you mean. I think 32 is too high for him, if that's who you mean. But Kalijah at 17, I think that could be the range for him. So appreciate the question. I actually took Kancey at 17 in a trade down in my latest Bears mock draft. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. Grady McCray, any chance we draft a kicker in the later? Oh, we answered this. I don't think Grady kicker is going to be a player the Bears draft, but I do think a UDFA could make sense. Patrick, yeah, I like the draft you did, HG, when you got Achane. Yeah, you would have liked this, Rolly. I traded down, got Kancey at 17. Somehow, who's the Tennessee right tackle, Rolly? Darnell Wright, I got him at 32, and then Achane, I got him later in the draft as well. So, pretty good draft. I liked that. I like that one. Eric Gibbons, what is your best and worst case scenario for the Bears pick at number 9? Oh, gosh. Best case scenario is multiple guys you like are there. You trade down, you still get them. Worst case is a lot of the guys you don't like are there. You don't get a good trade offer, and you just have to settle for someone. I know those are kind of vague, loose scenarios, but you don't want to settle when you're picking in the top 10. You want to be certain in the selection you're making. So that's kind of a couple of options I would say there. Make sure you guys subscribe. Again, trying to get to 65,000 subs as soon as possible. So help support the movement here. Trying to grow this channel ASAP. Would love to get to 100,000 by this time next year before the 24 draft. So let's try to make it happen. Hit that sub button. Appreciate all the support.